it's Missy, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my weekly wrap-up for week 32. I read 3 books last week, so go me. And the first book I want to talk about is a middle grade called Flights and Chimes and Mysterious Times by Emma Trevane. I really enjoyed this steampunk fantasy alternate London middle grade. It was such a fun read. I gave it 4 stars. The main character's name is Jack Foster, and like most rich children, he has to go to a boarding school because his parents are busy entertaining or working. And so his mom picks him up for the summer holiday and takes him home. But what they don't know is that there is a mysterious Mr. Lorcan watching from afar. Now, Lorcan is from the alternate London called Londinium, and he is the son of the queen called the Lady, and he's in charge of getting a new son for her now that he is too old to be technically her son, and he has his eyes set on taking Jack Foster to this strange mechanical land. One day, Jack overhears Mr. Lorcan asking the mom if he could take him to be an apprentice to him as a magician. The mom says no, and Lorcan leaves the establishment in a huff. And Jack decides to pursue him through the London streets and see if he can, convince the magician, Mr. Lorcan, to take him anyway. When he sees Lorcan go through Big Ben and tries to follow through his footsteps, he finds himself in another place and time. That is where the story takes place, or where the story gets going, and it's such a fun ride. There are mechanical fairies and mechanical dragons and wind-up girls, and all of the people of Londinium have some kind of tinkering to them, so they have metal hands or feet or lungs or heart or, faces, and that is kind of like a requirement to be in Londinium, is to have some kind of metal part to you, and that is also a way of knowing who is the son of the Lady and who is not, because the Lady only steals real boys from the actual London. I enjoyed this book immensely. It's a adventure book. Jack Foster, when he gets to Londinium, he has no idea what's going on, where he is at. He meets up with a wind-up girl who he befriends, and she helps him along his journey to find out how to get back to the actual London, because it's just not what he thought it was going to be, and he's just not having any fun anymore, so he definitely wants to get back to the real London. I enjoyed it. I would definitely check it out. The next book that I read was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. This is a modern classic that I finally finished, and I just did a review on this and a versus the movie video, which I will leave the link down below so you can check that one out. So I'm not going to really say much, but the fact that I really liked it, I gave it 4 stars. It was definitely entertaining and much better than the movie. The last book that I read last week is Magonia by Maria Devana Headley. This is a YA fantasy novel. I gave this book 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed this book. It's about a girl named Aza, I think that's how you say it, A-Z-A, and she has a lung condition. It's not asthma, it's not lung cancer, but she can't breathe. It's like she's drowning in air. She's always coughing and trying to breathe, and nobody can figure out what's wrong with her. The doctors don't know. So much so that they've actually named the syndrome after her, so it's called Azaré syndrome. And her mom is trying to like find a way to make a cure for her daughter, and her best friend Jason is doing the same thing but in his own way. And for the first 80 or 70 or 80 pages, this book was devastating. I ugly cried at the beginning of this book. So many feels. In my Goodreads review, I said that there was 25% feels in this book, 50% adventure, and the other 25% I need more. I need more of this book. So Asa, like I said, has this sickness in her lungs where she can't breathe. One day, she's in English class and she notices during a storm that there are ships in the sky that nobody else can see. And she keeps hearing like whispers or shouts of her name, and she doesn't know who's saying it, and she thinks she's going crazy. And she finally confides in her best friend Jason about this, and Jason's like, yeah, you're totally describing Magonia. And she's like, well, what's Magonia? And he's like, haven't you even read about it? I know you read about it. You totally, probably like subconsciously read about this on the internet, and then you saw it in the sky because, you know, you were thinking of it. It was just a mirage, don't worry. She's like, well, tell me what Magonia is. And then he goes on this factoid tangent on Magonia being a myth where ancient people lived in the sky and they had flying ships and all that stuff, but it's totally a myth. It's not real, but in the past, people have said that they've seen sky people come down to Earth and steal their crops, and it always happened during freak storms. And so she's getting all of this information, and then all of a sudden she finds herself in Magonia. Now, let me just say, okay, because I don't want to spoil anything for this book, there are bird people. If you wanted to read about a book with bird people, like hybrid people that can transform from like almost human to birds and then back again, I'll read this book. Amazing. I mean, I've never read a book about bird people, and I love birds. And this book is about magic through singing, almost like Ariel, but not quite. I mean, Ariel's got this beautiful voice that is coveted, right, by Ursula. But in this book, the voices actually produce magic, and they can do whatever. And it's so amazing, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, singing magic, brilliant. Bird people, brilliant. Sky pirates, brilliant. The only thing I had a problem with, and the reason why I gave this book 4 stars, is the fact that Jason is so conveniently smart in this story. He knows all the facts about Magonia before it even happens. He's got tons of money for, you know, reasons that we don't really know. Like, we know that he has patent his inventions, and that the inventions bring in money, but we don't know how much money. But he just conveniently has enough money towards the end of the book, and he's always there to help out, and there's just too much convenience with Jason. But besides that, it was a great book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a must read. I would definitely check it out if you have not so far. Now, those were the 3 reviews for my weekly wrap-up. Before I go, I do want to share with you guys my pre-order for today. So excited. Also, I'm very excited because the authors of this book totally tweeted about it, and then I tweeted them back, and then they liked my tweet. Like, it's always so bizarre to me when an author tweets back to me. I'm like, oh, totally excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, here is the book that I've been waiting for. Slasher Girls and Monster Boys, stories selected by April Genevieve Tcholk. She is the author of Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. Like I told you guys before, I gave that book 5 stars, but I did not like the second book, which I read last month. But oh, am I excited to read this book. It's got lots of people that you know about. We have Stephen Bachman, middle grade. Kendar Blake, you guys know who that is. Jay Kristoff, I have his book. Jonathan Mayberry, he's the one who does the zombie books. Carrie Ryan, also zombie books. Nova Rensuma, I don't know who that is. April Genevieve Tutrok, of course. Leigh Bardugo, we all know. The Grisha trilogy, we have A.G. Howard from the Splinter trilogy. Marie Lu, Legend, I haven't read that yet, but I don't really like dystopians, so I probably won't read it. Danielle Page, I don't know who that is. Megan Shepard, the one who wrote The Madman's Daughter. Cormac Templeton, I do own one of her books, but I can't remember what the title is right now. And of course, Kat Winters. Now, look at that. A powerhouse anthology featuring some of the best thriller and horror writers around. I am just so stinking excited for this book. I am happy that it came on the day that it was supposed to. Let's look under the dust jacket, and it's just red. Nothing super special, no end colored pages or anything, but boy, can I can't wait. I can't wait to read this. And I own at least one book from almost all of these authors, so I'm super duper stoked to read this book. All right, I don't know when I'll be able to get to it. Hopefully next month, and then I will of course do a review on the book itself and all the wonderful short stories that are in this book. All right, people. That was my wrap up for week 32. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.